Hello, my name's Lynn and I'm going to teach you today how to make the duct tape spiral rose. It's on a pen, so makes it really pretty to use and practical because you can write with it. Things you will need, must is a cutting mat. You don't want to mark up mom's table or anything, so I suggest getting the bigger ones. You can do the smaller ones, but for like with this one, when you need the wider, longer pieces of tape, it just helps to have the longer mat. Cutting ruler, you can use your school ruler too. I like these because they have the grid and you can see through them on your project. Cutting knife, a must, obviously. For this, you'll need a pen. And then duct tape. I do use Duct brand duct tape. Not doing any advertisement other than what I've used. I've had a duct tape business for a while, and I've used all the other tapes, the Scotch, the Gorilla, other brands, and duct tape just seems to have a good strength to it. It's thicker, but not too thick, so it's easy to kind of work with. Not saying you can't use the other tapes, but you just get a different effect. So in order to make the pen, you need the pen first. Just to give you an idea, just depending on what type pen you use, most of them you just want to look from the cap on. It's about 4 1/4, but you just need to go about 4 inches. You don't need to cover the tip yet, because that gets covered by the flower. So each one of these squares is 1 inch. So I could do it in the corner to show you, but it's easier to do here. So I just want 4 inches. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Just going to cut it across there. And then in order to go around the diameter of the pen, you only actually need about 1 1/4 inches, which works well because we will use that rest of that strip there. So you just cut it down. Use your knife to kind of lift up for you there. You lay your tape right there, right on the edge. You don't want to get it on the cap. And then this just gets pulled straight on there. I take the lid off because it makes it a little easier to roll. And then you just roll around the pen there and just smooth it out. Then I just take a small square off of that piece I had, and you go on your tip there. And all you're doing is covering that tip, so when you have the rose on there, and I just kind of squeeze that down. Now we're going to cut that 21-inch piece. So I go from the 21 mark down. And on this, just lay it out. And then I just kind of grab the edges here and put my other finger to hold it down. And you're kind of putting a little tension on the tape at the same time so it doesn't bunch up. And just make contact at these ends first. And then if you just hold there and just keep coming in, if that's too hard for you to do, let's just cut another piece here. And if you just pull it and put it down, it's okay if you let it go. It doesn't hurt anything. And then you can just come along and fold it too. So there's a few ways to do it. I just found over doing it for so long, I found holding it that way worked best. It's okay if your line's uneven. Again, it's just shaping around the flowers, so. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the end there. And it just goes about, you can see the distance there. And you're just gonna put that first wrap just smooth like that. And then all you're gonna do is use your thumb finger here. And this hand, you're kind of putting a gather in it. Can you see that gather? And then you're just gonna hold it. Now, you don't do them that tight necessarily. I'm just trying to give you an exaggerated look at how it goes. So you'll just gather them together. If you want, you can use your fingers like that and just push down. And you're gonna find, you're gonna feel the bottom of the rose, but it kind of angles a bit. So see, you have that shape forming, otherwise it would be just round and stuck together. So again, you're just getting your fingers underneath there. Tack it, see, and then keep going. So gather. Use your thumb back here too. So this thumb's kind of holding your gather and this one's making your gather by pushing it forward. And you just kind of want to feel yourself, see, you're going to get a spiral look to it. That's what you want. So you don't want to stay at the same level as the top or it won't create your flower. So you just keep putting your pleats, gather, gather. And however tight you make it or loose you make it, you know, it's just going to give you a different look, but it's not wrong. And it does take practice, so don't get frustrated. Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither was the duct tape spiral flower. Everything I've made, I had to practice over and over. And there you go. You got the spiral, so see how it keeps going down. So you have that, those edges, you want that. That's what gives the depth to the flower. Otherwise it would be pretty boring looking. So I just kind of take those bottom pieces and make sure I've got them pressed in there nice and tight. And then we take a piece to secure it. So you use the rest of that little piece of tape we had left here. But we're only gonna need 2 inches of it. You can use your ruler to cut it. And then what I do is I cut just halfway through. You want to leave half of it whole. You just put some lines. You don't need to worry about the measurements. Maybe get like 5 or 6 slits in there. And you'll see when you pick it up. So this side's solid and this side has the little cuts in it. That allows you to shape around the base of that flower. So you're going to take the smooth side and it goes on the pen shaft there. So it goes right on there. This part goes up into the flower, so you kind of press it. So if you pull tight here, it's going to stay on the pen. You don't want it loose there. And then this is just going to, again, go into your petal and it just helps secure everything in. So up into the petal. All right. Now, as an added thing I like to do, but you don't have to, is you'll see where you ended your tape here. This is hugged up, so it's not so bad, but sometimes it's out more. And it's got that pointy square. Well, everything else is rounded. So all I do is just kind of curve around it a little bit and cut as I do that. And then you get that nice little rounded petal there. So there you go. You have the pretty flower and the fun pen. And it makes everything a little more fun. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any comments or anything or questions, just put them in the comments and let me know. Thanks for watching.